group of seniors that I'm definitely going to miss next year, and I don't want it to be my last game with them tomorrow or even this week. So we want to continue to play, and we have a lot of fun off the court as well. So that's what makes it a special team. But I think that Nigel was on the money when he said that us being in the tournament before and those guys being in so many other years definitely helps us with the emotional part of it.
Yep, right down front.
For any of the players, what makes Wisconsin such a good defensive team overall, and then why is maybe the three-point defense not a strong suit compared to other parts of the defense?
We practice defense all the time. We do defense all the time. All the time. That's what we do in practice, is practice defense. So you're good at what you do often. Sometimes we've gotten away from that in the games, and those usually resulted in losses for us. So if we can get back to those principles that we've worked on, we should be pretty good. And as far as the three-point percentage defensively not being that well, just got to be a little better on our closeouts, our contests, and try to get the tough twos that we want. Obviously, the three is the most efficient shot to take, so we need to definitely eliminate that against a team we're going to play tomorrow that shoots 40% or higher from three as a team.
Any other questions for student athletes? Yep, go ahead.
Ethan, where do you feel you've taken the most growth in your game from freshman year to sophomore year? Where have you seen the most improvement?
I mean, I just feel like I'm getting more familiar with the game itself. I mean, if you saw at the beginning of last year, I was not very good, and then I slowly got better with the more game experience I had, and now having more game experience into this year, I think just having time on the court, not only playing with my teammates, but also just seeing things, what to do and what not to do. I mean, I think overall I'm just trying to take my game one step at a time to the next level, but it's still got a long way to go.
Okay, want to recognize Patrick Herb, who's over here Patrick's here, the Wisconsin Athletic Communications Director. He can help you with any other needs you have with Wisconsin. That being said, thanks guys for your time today. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
The Wisconsin head coach Greg Gard at 4:45. Joined by Wisconsin head coach Greg Gard. Coach, welcome to Buffalo. And we'll get started with questions at this time. If you'd please raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you. And go ahead and get started. We'll start right here with
John Vogel with the Buffalo News. Welcome.
Thank you.
This team has been to many tournaments, obviously. Have you noticed anything different this time about how the players are embracing it? Or
No, I don't think so. I mean, obviously, everybody that's in our program has been to tournaments every year, so that's something that I think we constantly remind them of and make sure they don't take it for granted. You know, to be a program that's gone to 19 straight NCAA tournaments is really an astonishing accomplishment. It's obviously a tribute to the players and coaches that have been here before us. But that's one thing specifically with our younger guys that they understand that it takes a lot of work to get here. But I haven't noticed anything different. They've gone about the process the same way. I think they appreciate where we're at. And this is a reward for having a really good regular season.
a question right in the center here.
Norm Wood from the Daily Press and Newport News, Virginia. Greg, Ethan was talking earlier about a comparison between Virginia Tech and somebody you guys have already seen, and he mentioned Michigan just because of the number of shooters that Tech has, and it's similar to what you saw with Michigan. Is that a fair assessment? And given that, is it a tough matchup for you because you guys have struggled defending from the perimeter at times?
Well, I think it's a tough matchup because they're a good team, regardless of matchup. I think you get to this point in time in the year, and that if you're still playing, consider yourself fortunate, but most likely your opponent's going to be really good too. As I've said many times, all the average to bad teams are on spring break right now. So I think comparatively, I don't know if there's anybody, maybe some personnel things here and there. Seth Allen reminds me a little bit of Derek Walton from Michigan, just how he controls the ball and ball screen situations and those type of things, but probably built a little bit differently in most regards than a lot of teams we've played. I'd have to go back maybe through the non-conference and look at some teams there, but Buzz has done a heck of a job there in 3 years, and they've with how they share the ball and the way they can spread the floor with obviously a lot of shooters, that's going to put a stress on anybody, regardless of any comparison or who you've played in the past. So we'll have to obviously be extremely sharp in terms of rotations and things tomorrow night.
We'll go here, and then right in front.
Ava Wallace with the Washington Post. You obviously coached against Buzz a number of times when he was at Marquette. How aware were you back then of his kind of coaching quirks and his oddities that he's built his reputation on, especially?
He's like Rain Man?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I knew that back in 2002. And I think, did you talk to Buzz earlier in the week too? Because I just was with him for a little bit at our coaches meeting. But 2002, I'm a first-year assistant at Wisconsin, and we're playing in a tournament in Hawaii. And Buzz at the time was at Colorado State as an assistant, and we got together in my hotel room to share scouting reports. I think they were going to play LSU, we were going to play Hawaii, so we were exchanging third day of the tournament, some notes and stuff, and just the questions he asked and the numbers he was pulling out of the air, that you could tell that he was very inquisitive and very detail-oriented, and really, I gave him a couple of those looks like, what the heck are you talking about? But obviously, 15, 16 years later, look where we're both at. So I knew then, not knowing really who he was, that was the first time I had met him. And then obviously years later, he ends up at Marquette, and and then on to here, or to Virginia Tech. So, I mean, he was sweeping floors at JUCOs in Texas when I was sweeping floors at junior highs in Wisconsin. So he's had to work his way up. He's had to do it the hard way. He hasn't had anything handed to him. I have an appreciation for that, because I think there's some similarities there with my career trek and the places you've coached at and embraced and loved. And I know he would say the same thing about the places he's been at that are obscure and nobody would really know they exist. You have an appreciation for that when you develop or come through those ranks. And like I said, I have a lot of respect for Buzz for how he's gone about his career and the places he's gone to and who he's coached with, and how he's stuck with it and kept grinding. So his number analytics, that's sometimes over my head when he's pulling out those numbers.
And there's obviously a large disparity in tournament experiments between these two rosters. Do you see that play out at all on the court when the game's happening, or is it really just being able to handle all of the outside stuff?
Yeah, I think you get to this point in time of the year, experience maybe have been a bigger thing back in November. Now we're through this point. They played through a rigorous conference schedule. We have too. We've both seen tournament environments, so I think you can kind of throw that out. You know, they've got some guys that have some experience in game environments. I think sometimes that's overblown because we've already played 30-some games each. It'll be a matter of who does what they've done well all year better for the 40 minutes tomorrow night. They'll do the things they try to do and have been successful at all year, and we'll try to counter with what we've been good at all year.
In front.
Mark Berman of the Roanoke Times in Virginia, in terms of what you've been good at all year, you know, with the size advantage you have against Virginia Tech, you just kind of lick your chops and say, let's pound the ball inside and see if we can take advantage of the size and try to get them in foul trouble?
Well, they utilize what they do pretty well in terms of how their reaction into gaps and their ability to put pressure on the post. You know, and they defend they throw some different defenses at you. They'll mix some zone combinations in with their man and some switching, and they will trap in the post a little bit here and there. So we try to attack in terms of there's a plan going into it, but also we have to adjust to what is available, and that's why we like multidimensional players that can play inside, outside, and do a variety of things and try to be a real balanced team and not be one maybe aspect of the game or scoring dependent. So we always like to touch the post. I mean, it's been a constant, a mainstay in our program for a long time, and that may be via post players, it may be via cuts, it may be via dribble attack. You know, Buzz's term is paint touches, you know, and ours is very similar in terms of we want to get the ball to that high percentage area as much as we can.
Question right up front here. Your name and affiliation, please.
Tom Oates, Wisconsin State Journal. Greg, even in the Big Ten tournament, your bench came through the first 2 nights, and then the last night didn't score.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the reason for that inconsistency?
Well, I think each game is a little different in terms of opportunities that present themselves. You know, the second day of the Big Ten tournament, we played with a lead, so I was able to go a little deeper and intentionally, you know, give those main guys a little bit more of a break. When you have a 25-point lead, you're a little more likely to be able to play some guys down the stretch. So I think that game maybe went to that a little bit more. I look at who can take advantage of opportunities. Matchups is one thing. Michigan, I just didn't feel we got into enough of a rhythm to go a whole lot deeper on the bench. I wanted to give our upperclassmen the best chance to try to get back and get caught up and win that thing. So it's a game-by-game decision in terms of who and how much. A lot of it's personnel-driven, basically what I'm seeing on the floor. And obviously I think Saturday's game, even to some extent Friday's game, because we had a lead there that I can be a little more flexible with the guys I'm putting on the floor.
Go to the second row here. Yep.
Greg, as good as you guys have been on defense this year, you know, 3-point defense maybe not as much of a forte. Why is that, and what do you have to do better in that regard against Virginia Tech, perhaps?
Well, I think one thing that kind of gets lost in the shuffle here is that our percentage at times gets higher than maybe we'd like it to be, but also if you look at our attempts, they usually are the fewest. I think we gave up the second fewest threes attempted in the Big Ten, second to Michigan. So I look at, there's 2 ways to look at it. You look at the percentage, or you can look at how many threes we're giving up. So we try to run people off the line and minimize the attempts. Probably I look at that more than what is the percentage that we're giving up. And different teams play it different ways. We don't extend quite as much, so that allows, sometimes we compress things a little bit more, and sometimes that allows to have a higher percentage shot against you, trying to take away other parts of the offense's ability. So, you know, I know our percentage, I know where it ranks, but I also look at the attempts given, and there's a counterbalance to that either way.
Yep. Back
Greg,
left.
Joe Stojic with Heroes Media Group. Aside from the tournament itself, what does it mean for you being from Wisconsin, climbing up through the ranks from Wisconsin, different schools, Just personally, what does it mean for you, being able to lead the Badgers to another tournament?
Well, obviously you take great pride in it because when I was from 0 to 23 or 24, the Badgers were never in the NCAA tournament. So to come through that span of your lifetime and never see Wisconsin in an NCAA tournament, it obviously has a special meaning right now. My kids know no different. I've got a 15, 13, and 8-year-old, and they've never seen an NCAA tournament without Wisconsin in it. So having, as you mentioned, grown up in the state and coached at 3 different schools, my last time in Buffalo was in 1995. Platteville played in the Final Four and won a national championship here at Buffalo State. So that was when Buffalo came up on Sunday. That was right where my mind went to, was 95, and the last time I was here. So you have those type of memories and connections and relationships in the state that I think, when you're leading your home state school, there's an extra sense of pride in that. And obviously I know we represent the state and Badger fans and alumni across the country, but obviously those in the state, it's an little extra special to it because I'm one of them. I sat in that seat or watched it on TV or whatever for a lot of years and have witnessed how far the program has grown over that time.
Let's go here, and then we'll go back to John.
Greg, what do you see from you guys when you're clicking like you were in the Big Ten semis, say, versus some of the losses you had later in the year? What's the difference to you as you watch your team on film or in the game itself?
Well, the ball moves. I think that's pretty obvious. The ball moved pretty well. I thought it moved really well on Friday and Saturday, not quite as much as well on Sunday. Also, we went through a little stretch where Koenig was banged up and then he missed a game. I think that impacted us offensively. When you have a player like that that's not in rhythm or not in sync, it has a tendency to trickle to other guys. But all of our better teams have had very good spacing, ball movement, have different guys that can score from different areas, being able to stretch the floor a little bit with bigs that can shoot the ball. So that rhythm that we got into over the last 3 or 4 games is something we'll try to replicate offensively. Maybe not as much with last Sunday's game, but a lot of that also had to do with Michigan. I thought they did some really good things to us. And obviously offensively they were hitting on all cylinders, so we were playing catch-up most of the game. So just try to get in a rhythm, share the ball, take care of the ball. The ball moves pretty well. We don't over-dribble when we're in rhythm, and at times when we're out, we over-dribble and pound it too much. So trying to stay away from that and more of the other.
John Vogel again. What do you remember about about Buffalo from that Buff State tournament, and what have you noticed about the city this time?
Well, there wasn't this much snow here then. I know that. I remember the gym being orange, and I was just confirmed. He confirmed it backstage that it's orange and black. We played Steve Alford's Manchester team. It was at that point in time. It was the first time 2 undefeated teams had met for a national championship. I think they came in 31-0, and we came in 30-0. So yeah, we took the team to an Italian restaurant, which I found out now is out of business. I chatted with Coach Ryan or traded messages over the week when it was announced we were coming here, and he said, hey, take the team to, I think it was Carmine's. I think that's what we decided the name was now. We found out it's out of business. No, it was obviously great memories because my second year in college coaching and we win a national championship. I mean, I got spoiled pretty quickly. But it was a good time. Seems like 100 years ago, but it was fun.
Let's go back down here.
Greg, I guess free throw shooting not a strong suit for you guys. How much does that concern you going up against a Virginia Tech team where Buzz, tries to get a lot of points from the line?
Well, them trying to get points at the line and us shooting free throws are kind of two opposite things, though. They don't foul very much, and we try not to foul very much either. Specifically, the free throws have been 2 guys, and they ironically are 2 guys that get there the most, Hayes and Happ. So they both have been working on it all year. I think hopefully we've seen some progression in a positive way over the last week, more in game environments, and they've been okay during the year in the practice environment. It's been the game environment where we haven't been able to capitalize on it. So, mainly I want to make sure we're getting there. Although I know they don't foul a whole lot and don't put teams at the line a lot, and they try to get there quite a bit. So you analyze numbers. Going back to the lady behind you's question about Buzz's analytics and you look at free throw attempts and those type of things, numbers are similar in terms of the amount of times they try to get there. And albeit it's different, it's a different, maybe a method to do it, but still trying to get the same result of making more free throws than the opponent attempts. Speaking of 95, that team made 200 more free throws than the opponent attempted, which may be a record. Hence why they went 31-0. They were pretty good at getting to the line and converting there. So, but yeah, that's just what we'll try to get there as much as we can, and hopefully Ethan and Nigel can get in a rhythm and get some confidence going in a live environment.
Any other questions for Coach Gard? If not, Coach, we'll wish you the best of luck in the late game tomorrow against Virginia Tech.
All right, thank you.